Well, it's kind of a wild Thursday night. Um, really happy about this win for our guys, for all of us, for the 12s that were waiting for us. It took us a long time to get going in the first half. We just didn't play well at all. But it does show you that that doesn't decide the game. Our guys went in at halftime. We made a few adjustments. The defense put some stuff together that just turned the game around really by the stops they kept getting, and just played entirely different football for us. And it was just a great turnaround. I think probably most happy with the way we finished the game. We kick them the ball with, I don't know, 5-10 or something like that, and then we get 3 and out and get off the field, and we get the ball back with like 4:15 or something, and then we run the clock out. Man, that's as good as you can do. I love it. And another good night running the football, 170 something. That's just the consistency has continued to be there. That's those guys up front. All 3 runners ran really well tonight. All had good numbers, and it was a committee going at it, but they did a great job, and really proud of them. Thought Russ came back. Russ didn't, hit some stuff early on, but came back and played a fantastic game by the time it was over. Hit some great balls, great play actions, great play calls by Shoddy to give us some space and get those guys open. So all of that worked together, and also that. As we see the whole thing coming together, you can see the kicking game is really finding the consistency. The coverage guys are doing great. Mike's kicking the ball beautifully, and Seabass did his thing too. So everybody's coming through. It makes it, a good formula. That's what we're trying to put out there, and it's really fired up for the guys. That they finished the game, came from behind, and won it. At 14-3, it didn't look very good, but it was a great night.
After 14-3, I think they punted on 6 of 8 possessions. Just the way your defense turned things around.
Yeah, we had to turn it around. We were off. We were not getting the stops that we needed early on. We were upset about that, and guys rallied though. They rallied, and we stuck with the plan. We went back to some stuff that we needed to do in the second half. Kenny did a great job of making the adjustments in the second half, and the guys responded really well, and we needed it. We needed every bit of it.
On the last touchdown, was that the blitz look you'd been expecting and working on all week?
It was one of the looks that we were working on. You're right. They actually, I think they popped out of it. They faked the blitz on that one, but Russ's timing and Ed's timing was just perfect. And Ed had to peek over his shoulder on that, like he's coming out hot because he didn't know if it was a blitz or not. And Russ saw it, he saw it, and they hit it. And just a great veteran move by Ed Dixon. Beautiful play.
5 sacks on the night. Your thought on the pass rush?
Yeah, I was really fired up about that, because we know these guys are hard to sack, and it's hard to get to Aaron. He just doesn't let you have him. And but it was a lot of guys working at it, a lot of 4-man rushes. We did pressure some tonight, but most of the sacks came off of a 4-man rush set, I believe, and that's really good. The guys worked together and we spread it around to a lot of guys. Frankie had another great game, just causing problems.
Chris Carson fumbles on the first carry, and then to come back and have the game keep.
Yeah, he had a really solid game. He just didn't protect the ball the way we were supposed to. The guy got underneath him and put his helmet on the football and knocked it out. It was a good play by them. That happened to Chris, if you remember back, might have been the Chargers game or something like that, way back early on. And he's been being great about it ever since. First play back, maybe he just wasn't quite right. I don't know. But he finished the way he knows how to play, and it was a great night for him.
Sorry if you were asked about this already, but did this feel like the game where Doug Baldwin was really back?
Yeah, I thought Doug played really well. It was great to get Doug in the end zone finally. We missed him once or a couple times really, and he's ready to have big games. We didn't throw the ball very much tonight, and so there's not a lot of throws, but he's such a good player, and he's such a good come-through guy. I thought he played terrific tonight, and glad to see that we got a chance to get him in the end zone finally.
You guys had a lot of looked like coverage sacks. What was happening when you could see in the secondary?
Well, I'm an old secondary guy, not feeling real good about the way we played tonight. Aaron did his thing, Those 2 scramble bombs that he threw were just phenomenal throws. I mean, he's the guy that does that. There's not very many people that can even think to throw that ball, let alone put it right on the money. I don't know. You guys probably, it must have been 50 or 60, at least 50, maybe 60 and more. Just gorgeous throws. And that's just what he's always been able to do. And unfortunately, in our attempt to get that done, so I can't think anything about being a good night after that happened. But, I'll take a look. I don't know, Art, I can't tell you about the coverage aspect of it in the sacks. But, yeah, he didn't get rid of the football. We weren't just running in there and knocking them down. It was sustained rush and guys coming off, off of blocks and stuff to make the plays.
Did Russell just kind of just need to find his rhythm a little bit?
I think he was fired up. I think he was pumped up. You saw him throw a couple balls over the top of guys that, he generally hits. And he came back and found it and did a great job. I said something to him. He says, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right, which he was exactly right. Shut up, coach, is really what he could have said, but he didn't.
The David Moore catch that was overturned, is that another play that maybe wouldn't have been ruled a catch?
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interpretation that's made now to give the guys credit for that he had controlled the ball. And even though there was some movement from side to side a little bit, but that's a new interpretation, and that's what I was, I was hoping that they were going to see it that way. And yeah, that was a big play at the time. We really needed that.
Looked like you went to Calitro at linebacker after a couple of series. Was that?
Yeah, he was in the rotations tonight. Yeah.
You see it in football all the time where teams get down early and it just kind of gets away from with your teams, what's kind of the key to keeping that from happening over the years?
I think I would like to think that we've instilled a belief that they ain't never over, and that they'll keep hanging, and we have for a long time. There's a lot of games on the record there. It's hard to beat us. When we just keep battling, and scores are, even when we lose games that we think we should have won, they're always close, and we've been really good at that for a long time. I think the belief is deep, and that's what sustains you, where you keep thinking something good's going to come if you just keep working. And we've been preaching that for years, and I think it's in the mentality.
Were you surprised, relieved that the Packers didn't go for it there on 4th and 2, knowing they only had a timeout?
I was relieved. I really did like that they punted the ball to us right there, because we knew that we had a shot then, to kill the game if we could and kill the clock, and we did it.
Sheen Green had that last sack.
Excuse me. The thing about that's important, Greg, is our belief in the running game, and we get the ball in that situation. It was like, oh, here we go. This is our time. It's 4-minute time, and thrilled to see that happen. Just the mentality that's coming around, from those guys up front and the runners and all that. It's really important. It's obviously really valuable too, and it's great to see that happen.
Pete,
Sorry.
I apologize if you've already been asked this. The third down.
Dan, you apologize a lot. I'm used to it. It's no big deal.
The third down touchdown pass to Dixon.
Yeah.
What did Russell see on that?
No, they were in a blitz look, and Russ, I think if you'll talk to Russ about it, but I don't think he knew whether they were coming or not until the moment the ball was snapped and they popped out of it. But the fact that they were disguising it gave him a chance to, with really good rhythm and timing, to beat them before they got out of their disguise. And so whether it was a blitz or not, the read was there for him. And I'm telling you, we practiced that a ton this week, and it was beautiful from a coach's perspective to see something like that happen in such a crucial situation. I think the experience of Ed was apparent there, because he had to see the exact same thing. He had to peek too and take advantage of the op, and Russ, it was beautiful execution right there.
That's not a called route by Dixon. He sees it and does it, right?
The route, no, the route is on, but there is a coaching aspect to that. If that opportunity arises, then he has to know to look, which he did, and it was great.
The Packers only managed like 48 yards on the ground. What was the key to stopping Jones in the run?
Boy, it didn't seem like that. It didn't seem like that, The second half, I think the stat was 14 yards in the second half, and it just didn't seem like that. I didn't feel like we played a lot of stuff very well in the first half. I thought we were really kind of off our game, but really the recognition goes to the coaches and the players to come back and get it right at a heck of a halftime. Terrific adjustments and mentality change, and the guys came through.
On Rodgers' last third down pass, it was in the dirt. What went through your mind when you saw that?
Oh, that was good. Yeah, we liked that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, that was. I don't know what happened. I thought the ball might have got tipped. Did anybody see that? I thought it did, but maybe not, because it was so far off. I thought the ball got tipped by the left end. You guys want to just stay for a while and just keep talking about this game? I don't mind. I got nowhere to go. We got a couple days off coming up, so this is fine. John, you have any questions you want to bring up? There you go, Johnny. There you go.
You mentioned the front four getting most of the pressure. Jaron Reed's tripled his career high for sacks this year. What do you think is the biggest difference for him? It seems like he was in the backfield hitting Rodgers multiple times in this game.
Yeah, I was surprised he only had half a sack, but in the stats, I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know. We'll be fighting for whatever is right there, but he had a really good game. He was involved in a lot of those hits. What's happened is he's just grown in experience. He's always been such a good run defender. It's kind of what he was coming out of college, in a place where they really, really emphasized that. He brought that with him. But it's just the coaching in keeping him growing with his abilities and the savvy that he has. He's got a really instinctive background about playing ball, and now he's taking advantage of that, and he's become very effective. This, like you're saying, this is way off the numbers that he's had in the past, and he's having really the best year he's had with us. And he's always been good. He's never not been good.
Anything else?
Hit it.
Really?